Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today, I am going to start activity number 8, which is about grammar focus comparisons. In this lesson, we're going to learn about comparisons with adjectives, nouns, verbs, and past participles. You may have learned about comparison with adjectives and nouns, but in this lesson, we have two more which are new. Okay, so one is with verbs and the other one with past participle. If you take a look at some of these examples, let's see this one: more or less than, okay, as, better, worse, as much, work, okay, so on and so forth right here. So we can simply say we have two different ways to compare. All right, so let's find out what they are. So let me take you the handout. So this is about the material that I prepared for you. So as you can see right here, I would like to begin with comparisons with adjectives. So let's take a look at the first form. Subject, be, sound, or seem. Okay, so you can use any one right here. To make it short, you can use linking verbs. Okay, the reason we use linking verbs, or you can use to be right here, just because we have an adjective. Okay, so after the verb, we have as, an adjective, as, an object. Okay, so we call equal structure. Why? Because we have two s's right here. For example, working in an office is as safe as being a teacher. So, being a teacher and working in an office are very safe. Okay. So instead of using are very safe, you can say as safe as. Okay. Being a teacher is as rewarding as working as a nurse. Okay. All right. And the same thing, let's move on to number 2. Subject, the same verbs, but we use more or less with an adjective than an object. We call unequal structure. Okay, why we call unequal? Just because we don't use as and as like the first one. We have two s's right here to make comparisons, but in this case we don't. We have only more or less. I think you have learned this one. Okay, as you can see, we have singular adjective. We should add er. If we have two or more, then you can add more or less. It depends on the meaning. Okay, as you can see, these two examples. Being a flight attendant is more boring than working on a cruise ship. Okay, more boring because boring is, let's say, two-syllable adjective, then you have to use more. Okay, or you can say less, doesn't matter, it depends on the meaning. Working as a police officer is less dangerous than being an astronaut. But of course, that is right. Okay, so right here you see that we don't use as, but we use more or less. Okay, to make comparison. But something that we compare is an adjective. Okay, so we call unequal. So adjective, we have equal structure and unequal structure. So the first one is the form of equal, and the second one is unequal. All right, so let's move on to B, comparisons with nouns. Okay, we have uh, about 5. Okay, let's find out what they are. The first one, subject, have or has. It depends on the subject right here. As many, plural noun, as an object. Why? We use as many just because it is a plural noun right here, and we call equal structure just because we use two s's right here. Okay, you can see as and as. Okay, so take a look at two examples below here. A shooter doesn't have as many hours as a tour guide, as you can see right here. As many hours as. So hours, let's say, are countable nouns, so that you can use many, and both of them, a shooter and a tour guide don't have less hour, let's say. Okay, they have many hours. Okay, and tennis instructor has as many hours as a football coach. Okay, so they have the same thing, the same hours. And let's go on to number 2. Subject, have, has as much uncountable noun as an object. So we still call equal structure, but the difference is right here is as much. The first one as many, just because we use a plural count noun, and the second one we use as much just because it is an uncountable noun. Okay, so let's take a look at these two examples right here. um, Psychiatrist has as much training as a medical doctor. So as you can see, training is uncountable noun, then you can use as much, training as. And a teacher doesn't have as much education as a scientist. Of course, scientists has more, education than this, but we don't use unequal comparison, but we use equal structure, okay, or you can say equal comparison structure, okay, so like as much right here. Just because education is uncountable noun, that is the reason we use as much. And let's move on to number 3. Subject have, has, more or fewer with a plural noun than and an object. So that is unequal. Why? Because we use more or fewer. Okay. As you can see, these two examples below. A shooter has more hours than a dog walker. So of course they are different. And a police officer doesn't have fewer working hours than a tour guide. Okay. In this case, everybody, we focus on plural noun. Okay. So we use more, fewer with plural count noun. However, when it is uncount noun, so let's go to number 4. Subject have or has plus more or less. So the difference is only fewer and less, because fewer is used with plural count noun and less is used with uncountable noun. All right. So more or less uncountable noun than an object, and we also call unequal structure. Okay. Why? Because we use more or less. We don't use as. Okay. So let's take a look at these two examples. A tour guide has less time to relax than a travel agent. Okay, you don't need to care about to relax here. Okay, but we wanna to mainly focus on time, because time is uncountable now. That's why we use less. A teacher in a private school has more work to do than that in a public school. I'm sorry if you have any relative who teach at public school, but that's right. Usually private school has more work to do than the public one. Okay. And as you can see right here, because work is uncountable noun, then we have to use more or less, because more can be plural count noun and uncount noun. Okay, doesn't matter, but less only with uncount noun and fewer with plural count noun. Okay, and let's go to number 5, last one about noun. Subject have or has. I'm sorry, not less, it should be has. um Better or worse noun than an object. Okay, so we also call unequal structure. Okay, the reason is we use better or worse. You may not have seen something like this, but of course we can use better or worse to make comparison. Okay, and in this case, everybody, we can simply use whatever noun. You can use plural count noun, or you can use uncountable noun. Okay, with better or worse. Okay, as you can see, these two examples. A comedian has better hours than a gossip columnist. Okay, and a TV reporter has worse hours than a camp counselor. Okay, so as you can see right here, we can use better or worse. Of course they are comparison, but in this case we use them as a comparison word, okay, in order to compare noun right here. And the reason we call unequal, just because we have better than and worse than. Okay, all right, so let's go to verb. Something that is different. Number 1, we have subject, and so these are the verbs that we can use. Earn, travel, cost, spend. Okay, as much as an object. We call equal structure, just because we have as much as right here, and we don't have anything inside because we compare the verb in the front here. Okay, and another one is subject, earn, travel, cost, spend, the same verbs. With more or less than, we don't add any in between. Okay, an object, and we call unequal because we use more or less. And if you take a look at this example, a medical doctor earns more than a university professor. Okay, earns more than. Okay, so nothing inside or between more or than. Okay, right here. And next one, a police officer doesn't travel as much as a secret agent, because it doesn't have any right here in between. Okay, because we compare travel. So police officer travel less, and a secret agent travels more. That's the meaning. Okay, living in the city doesn't cost less than living in the countryside. Yeah, so you see, we don't see anything in between less and than. The reason is just because we compare cost. All right. Okay, so let's move on to next one. Past participle. So we have forms. Subject be, as well train, written, plan, educated, taught. Actually, you can change the verbs right here. But I just want to tell you these are past participle, or you can say verb 3. Okay, and you can use well right here or not, it depends, because well you want to give more emphasis on some kind of this, you want to modify more, okay, on participle right here. And if you don't want to use well, it is okay. All right, and you can use as well plus verb 3 or without well plus verb 3, okay, and then as an object, and we call equal just because we have two s's right here. And another one is subject be better, okay, the same, okay, we use better to make comparison. And you can use train, written, plan, educated, taught. So these are verb 3, but I just list down some examples right here so that you can find out exactly how to place right here, okay. And then an object, why is unequal, because we have better and then here, okay. So let's see the last two examples. A psychiatrist is better trained than a nurse. Yeah, of course. All right. And as you can see right here, train is verb 3 and better is comparison. And one more example, this report was as well written as the last one. Right here, if you don't want to say well written, that's it. You can just say as written as, but usually you want to give more meaning to the participle written, so that's why you want to say well, okay, you want to modify more, okay. All right, so that's it for this, but let me explain a little bit in part E, okay, because it is important. Comparative structures, let's see, find out, must also have the same grammatical forms. So what I mean right here is that if this one is noun, another comparison or something that you compare, also noun. Okay, as you can see, a landscaper earns more than a lifeguard. So these two are singular noun, okay. And let's move on to the next example, lifeguards. Okay, so we have plural noun, don't earn as much as landscapers, so also plural noun, okay. And if you compare with ing gerund, landscaping is better paid than lifeguarding, so you need to compare with ing, okay. All right, so whatever it is, you need to have a parallelism. All right, you need to have a parallel structure. If it is noun, it must be noun, singular noun, also singular noun, okay. If it is a gerund, then you have to have gerund. Okay, so that's it for this lesson, everybody. If you have any question, you can leave me your question in a comment below, or maybe you can go to our Telegram group chat. All right, and you will have this exercise to do, all right, as your practice. And that is not enough, you can also go to our lesson exercise A here. So your job is to do exercise A, all right, just to fill in this sentence with the word given in the bracket. Okay, the word given can be ing, which is an adjective, verb, noun, participle, and participle. All right, so maybe you can refer to this, or maybe you can refer to the handout that I have for you right here. Okay, so you can go through one by one and take a look at the example, okay, again and again, and try to follow the forms, because they can help you a lot, okay. And if you have any questions, still leave me your questions, don't worry, I will try my best to answer to your questions, okay. All right, that's it, everybody. If you have questions, again, drop your questions down in a comment below, then I will answer to your questions, okay. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you so much. Goodbye.